Hello, faithful viewers of Adaptation, the ultimate vlog for film adaptations and the original material they're based on. I'm Jennifer Dick, and it's October, which I hope you know what that means. Here there be monsters. Wahahaha! Gotta work on that laugh. And for our vlog this week, I'll be spotlighting one of the oldest, most famous monster stories in literature, Dracula, by Bram Stoker. Ooh, creepy. So Dracula was written in 1897 by Irish author Bram Stoker, which could very well have been why I was chosen to present this vlog. After all, Dublin does have a Bram Stoker festival every October. And yes, I have gone and enjoyed it immensely. But the plot of Stoker's Dracula begins with the diary of Jonathan Harker as he travels to Transylvania to help with the land purchases made by the mysterious Count Dracula. While initially rather taken with the Count's impeccable manners, it doesn't take Harker very long to realize that something's not quite right with his host. Now here's where we get into spoilers, guys, because Dracula is a vampire. I know you're all shocked. Such a well-kept secret. Didn't see that coming at all. Certainly Jonathan Harker didn't, leading to him inevitably helping the Count move to England to find more victims. Way to go, Harker. Still, Dracula is not entirely unopposed, as a small group of English men and women, led by Abraham Van Helsing, seek to destroy him once and for all. Now I'm sure you know how the story ends already. As I said, it is one of the oldest, most famous pieces of its kind. Dracula has been labeled as a horror novel, a gothic novel, vampire, supernatural literature, invasion literature. It ticks a lot of boxes. And this is probably why Dracula has also been a favorite story to be chosen for adaptations. In fact, since its publication, Dracula has been adapted over 200 times on film, coming second only to Sherlock Holmes as the most adapted literary character. Now no, I will not be presenting all of these adaptations. I will try my best to outline the major versions, and you can feel free to yell at me in the comments if you feel that I've missed something important. I can take it. So the earliest adaptation that was actually endorsed by the Stoker estate was the 1931 film adaptation of Dracula, which starred Bela Lugosi as the title character. It's one of the most well-known, famous, classic versions, and it's also been dubbed culturally significant by the US Library of Congress. Lugosi's portrayal of Dracula was also continued in further adaptations following this release, including Dracula as a character in the film Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. A slightly more modern, gothic take on Dracula was released by Hammer Films in 1958, starring Christopher Lee as Dracula. While the film veers quite far from the original story, it has been regarded as one of the best adaptations of Stoker's novel. Christopher Lee also went on to star as the same character in a number of sequels released by the same production company. Then in 1977, the BBC released a very accurate miniseries version of the book, which not only included nearly all of the characters from the original story, but also had several of the scenes that nearly always get cut in previous versions, such as Jonathan's diary, as well as Sewer's dictaphone. Then 1992 saw the Frank Coppola version of Dracula, starring Gary Oldman as the vampire, as well as Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves, and Anthony Hopkins. This version painted a more sympathetic view of Dracula as a tragic hero rather than a villain, giving him a backstory and even a romantic subplot. Yeah, they pulled that out of nowhere, because that definitely wasn't in the book. And then most recently, Universal released the film Dracula Untold in 2014. Rather than focusing on the events of Stoker's book, this film creates an origin story for Dracula. It draws and expands on the tale of Vlad the Impaler, who's widely regarded as a historical influence for Stoker's original character, known for impaling between 40,000 and 100,000 civilians. Just cuz. Not a nice guy. Now this is just a short list of the more or less straight versions of the Dracula story that have been released over the years. The character has also made appearances in other formats as well, in addition to meeting a number of different characters. As I mentioned, he has met Abbott and Costello, as well as coming up against Billy the Kid, Scooby-Doo, Batman, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Frankenstein. And I'm sure that there are even more that I've missed. On top of that, Dracula has been parodied as Campy by Andy Warhol, as a disappointed father by Christopher Lee, as a complete klutz by Mel Brooks. He's been given origin stories, backstories, love stories, sequels. He's been animated. At this point, adaptations of Dracula have run the full gambit. But you know what? I'd be willing to bet that we'll see yet another version of Dracula Dracula emerge somewhere, somehow, in the next couple of years. But until that happens, we would love to hear your thoughts on what's been done so far. Leave us a quick message in the comments telling us which versions you like and which ones you didn't. While you're at it, we'd love if you'd check out our podcast on iTunes, or just say hello to us on one of our other social media sites. We hope that you'll tune in again next Saturday for our next October horror-themed vlog, and until then, wahaha!